Did you know that the first antidepressant was actually an antibiotic? It was this one right here, and it was being studied for tuberculosis. And they found that when they were giving the patients this drug, it was creating an elevated mood and euphoria. So they decided to start prescribing it off-label for depression. You would think that this would have prompted people to realize that drugs influence the microbiota in the gut, which is your good gut bacteria, and to start asking questions like, what could this mean and how can we optimize our gut bacteria instead of obliterating it with antibiotics? This drug was actually pulled from the market because it was found to cause liver failure, and there is a deep connection between the microbiota, which is your gut bacteria, and liver health. And so when you go in and you start messing with the bacteria in your gut, it influences your gallbladder and your liver. The reason I bring this up is because back in the day when these drugs were first being formulated, anyone that brought up gut health was considered to be a quack. I've made a lot of progress, but it took about 50 years or so, maybe even longer, and that should be noted because it takes a long time for the medical community to actually start embracing concepts like gut health and taking action like pulling certain drugs off the market. Meanwhile, a lot of people are ending up hurt, and those that try and speak out about it are often labeled as judgmental or hateful or just misinformed. Today, the drugs that are most often prescribed as antidepressants are SSRIs, and they also impact your gut microbiota. Long-term use of these can cause a lot of issues and contribute to a lot of chronic disease. And so sometimes it's really important to pause and ask, what are we doing? And could the rise in anxiety and depression and other mental health disorders actually be linked to things like the overuse of antibiotics and the overuse of medications that suppress stomach acid and the overuse of medications that are harmful to the gut lining and the gut bacteria? Our bodies are deeply interconnected, and there can be so much really found when we actually start honoring it as the interconnected design that it is and asking deeper questions. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying stop using these drugs. I'm not saying no one should ever use them. I am saying that we should really acknowledge the fact that these drugs do in fact alter the microbiota in the gut, which is known to impact neurotransmitters in the brain, overall liver function, and we should be very cautious about this.